So you're here today to learn a bit about fire, eh? Well, fire is an important part of Australia's history. It's as much part of this country as the wind and the rain. But it's a bit of a process, so we better get going. Come on. So this is what we're looking for. The native cottonwood or native hibiscus. Now, these aren't just native to this country, but they're found all the way through the Pacific Ocean as well. They're found all along the east coast of Australia and many of the islands around Australia. Now, this cottonwood is renowned for its bright yellow flower here on the coast, and many of you have probably seen it at home when you go to the beaches, especially around the Sunshine Coast and Gold Coast. It's not only used as a coastal stabiliser, but it's used as an ornamental species as well. It has plenty of traditional uses, and one of them is to help me start fire. It's going to be my base wood. So it's going to be the piece which I'm drilling into because it's nice and soft. It has a few other uses too, this tree. Its leaves here, nice and big and broad, they're used for plates, for wrapping up food as well. They tell me the inner bark is also used for making twine and rope and fishing line. What I'm looking for is actually the dry stuff, so let's go. Bit weak. Oh, here's one. That's what I'm looking for. Nice dry bit of cottonwood. This is what we're going to use as our base. Nice soft wood, easy to drill into, creates heaps of dust to get that ember. Yep, just got to flatten him out.
The outer layer of bark should be removed as it generally contains some moisture. Now, moisture will absorb the heat and make it very difficult to create that ember.
Right now we've got to go find that other tree we're looking for to help the spindle. Hey, this is what I'm looking for. Grass tree, also known as Xanthorrhoea. But I'm looking for a spike to come out of him. That's the spindle, that's the piece of wood I'm going to use to start the fire. Just got to find one. Let's come over here. So I'm looking for the seed or the flower spike to come out of the tree. Here we go, look. Never let you down, of course. This one doesn't look too healthy, but look at this, 2 spikes coming out. What we're after is this long straight bit here, but I'm not going to touch the tree, they usually fall on the ground. Perfect. Nice and straight. It's important that it's actually the right thickness or the right density, because I don't want to waste any of my energy trying to get this fire started with a too soft piece of wood. You need a nice, warm, dry place to get your fire started. Otherwise, you're never going to create that ember. So right now, I'm just preparing the wood. Safely, of course. Just cleaning it up so it's nice and flat on either side. Now today's not the best day to start a fire because it's actually very wet. We've had a lot of rain, a few showers, but here's the thing. Imagine if it's the monsoon time and actually it's 3 months of rain. You still got to start a fire, don't you? So it's important you can start a fire in all conditions. So it takes quite a bit of skill and patience. So I'm just going to put a notch in the wood now.
Also create a small depression with your knife tip and place a piece of bark or a big leaf just below the notch to catch your ember.
So we finally got our grass tree stalk. Okay, this is known as the spindle. Place our foot here on our piece of wood and we just slowly
Essentially, a great deal of energy is used to rotate the spindle fast enough to create a lot of friction. Friction heats up the selected material hot enough to develop an ember. This ember is then used as the ignition source.
It's important to have your tinder or your dry grass nice and close by, okay? Because you want to be able to access it immediately because that coal won't stay hot for too long. I've just got a bit of old coconut husk from the beach down there. But you can use dry grass or even an old bird's nest.
Now, it's always a good idea to pace yourself, as this next task is going to require a great deal of work. Now we have smoke. It's time to increase our speed and maintain that downward force. This is the time to make that tinder come to life and ignite. Now, gently remove your board, take your ember from the piece of bark or leaf, then transfer it over onto your tinder bundle. Now blow it gently until you get a flame. It's important to be patient and don't lose this ember because it's your ignition source. If you do lose this, you're going to have to start from scratch.
And there you go, fire by friction. I hope you're listening. That's one fascinating element. Doesn't matter how much our natural world changes, fire remains the same.